Farm owner Chen Li checks on his 2,000 chickens once a week. But before he started this chicken farm in a Beijing suburb in 2015, Chen worked in marketing for more than a decade. He now calls himself a new farmer.
I think new farmers are those who enter agriculture from different backgrounds. They bring a new way of thinking and doing.
Chen met his business partners in an organic farm study program a few years ago. He invited Xu Jun, who has a degree in veterinary medicine, to run the poultry farm. They named their farm Einstein to honor the great physicist and symbolize their educational backgrounds in natural science. They raise the chickens organically and sell the meat and eggs to about 100 regular customers and friends across China through social media. They call their business model Community-Supported Agriculture, or CSA. CSA refers to a partnership between farmers and a group of individual consumers that share the risks and benefits of food production. CSA members subscribe to a farm and periodically receive some of its produce. Experts estimate that China has about 1,000 CSA farms like Einstein.
In traditional agriculture, the producer and consumer are unable to meet each other because they are separated by various circulation links. But in this new type of agriculture, the producer and consumer are linked by a sort of community relationship.
Xu's life on the farm follows a strict routine. He checks the chickens at dawn and feeds them twice a day. He deals with online orders, packaging and shipping during the rest of his time. Xu grew up in an agricultural village in southeastern China, but his parents had to leave him to find work in the city. His parents objected when Xu decided to study veterinary medicine in college.
They thought they worked really hard to send me to university, but I chose an agricultural major, which means I may return to a village again. So they opposed the idea at first.
However, Xu's determination convinced his parents of his decision because he believes that his career will be very different from theirs.
My parents' generation was forced to work in agriculture, but we actively chose the countryside and farming. Whereas my parents probably only know about production, we know the internet, marketing, branding, and management of agriculture.
A growing number of so-called new farmers like Chen and Xu are moving into China's agricultural sector with fresh knowledge and skills. Still, Einstein co-founder and university researcher Wu Zhou believes that significant challenges are ahead.
I think new farmers face such a challenge. The average age for most farmers working on a CSA farm is over 50. Most young farmers have left for cities to find jobs. So labour shortages have increased our production costs. This is a difficulty we face.
Wu says that to help community-supported agriculture thrive, small organic farms like Einstein need to get additional urban families as regular subscribers.
We have done such a calculation. Every 5 families would be able to support a small section of farmland. 50 family subscribers would attract a university graduate to work in the countryside with a relatively good income. If more and more consumers join such small organic farms, villages can then be revitalized.
Einstein's business partners say their chicken farm still faces a myriad of challenges, such as high costs and slow returns. But they believe that their farming model will be gradually recognized by more consumers in the future.
So Dr. Xi, explain to me, what is this community-supported agriculture?
CSA is actually it's a worldwide concept. Like in the United States, it's called community-supported agriculture, but in EU, it's called solidarity-based economy, and in Japan, it's called Teikei, means farmers and consumers help each other. For our conventional agriculture, we have the producers, the wholesalers, the retailers, and the consumers. So it's a very long chain when you compare from the farmers to the consumers. And the CSA actually is a way directly link the consumers with the farmers. So farmers sell their products directly to consumers, and consumers pay in front of the season as a kind of investment. So those model is very suitable for small farmers.
I see. So Dr. Shi, we know you've worked on a CSA farm in Minnesota in the United States, and you have established one of the earliest CSA farms in China. So how likely is it that CSA model for farming will thrive in China in the future?
I interned in a small farm in the United States for half a year. I noticed that actually in the past 30 years in the United States, the farmers there, they're facing lots of challenges. Like, because we all know that lots of Americans, big farms, there's a kind of code called get bigger or get out of the farm. So there are lots of farmers, they get bankrupt because they can't get bigger, their farms. Then there's a new way that called community-supported agriculture. So the consumers, they get together, they want to support those small farmers, which they focus on more on the environmental issues, like how to produce healthy food rather than just some food, some stuff.
Right.
So those models, they kind of building a new relationship, actually how to build the trust between farmers and consumers. So I feel those concept is very suitable for China's situation right now, although we also need to do some innovations.
Like you talk about in the United States, there is a saying among farmers, grow bigger or go bankrupt, right? And we're also seeing a divergence in farming trend in China. On one hand, we see these farms getting bigger, and especially, if the government gets involved, especially local government, they get involved, they invest in local farming, these farms grow ginormous. And on the other hand, a lot of urban dwellers, even after the urbanization happens, these farmers move to urban areas. Sometimes they move back to establish these smaller organic farms locally in their hometown. And also these two trends are both growing very quickly. So do you see these two trends as counteractive?
I do think it's counteractive. I think it's a kind of rule that because in the past 30 years, when China's agriculture going to be more scalable and more industrialized, so that can release lots of agriculture laborers. They don't need to work on their land for the whole day or the whole year, so they can go to the city to work as a kind of part-time or kind of the other income for them. And right now it's kind of hard for some young people and also for farmers who is looking for jobs in the city. So maybe it's the other trend that can be a good choice for young people or farmers to go back to the countryside to work as a farmer, because right now there are more consumers. They want healthy food. They may willing to pay a higher price for those farmers. And so I think this is also a very good way to have diversified farms.
That's right.
Because when you see from ecological point of view, for agriculture, if we have more diversified agriculture and agriculture model, there will be more better ecosystem.
And also it's a great way to promote local culture as well. Now, China's farming industry is undergoing massive changes. When it comes to the internet age, more possibilities have also arrived in agriculture. We will explore what the internet can do for farmers when we return.